Hello viewers, welcome to Science TV Prime News. My name is Ben Wirangai and our sign language interpreter is Wanjangede. On to our first news item. A new report by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has named the National Police Service as the most corrupt and least ethical institution in the country. The report, which surveyed public perceptions of corruption, places the police at the top of a list that also includes the Kenya Revenue Authority (KRA) and local chiefs. According to the EACC's findings, the police service consistently ranks highest in terms of reported bribery and lack of integrity among its officers. The report details the various forms of corruption, from demanding bribes to ignoring traffic violations, painting a grim picture of public trust in the force. The KRA, the country's tax collection agency, was also flagged for high levels of corruption, with the report pointing to issues such as bribery to evade taxes and colluding with businesses to undervalue goods. Local chiefs and their assistants were also singled out for engaging in corruption, particularly in matters related to land disputes, government relief distribution, and public service delivery. And on to our next news item. The government's e-citizen platform, intended to streamline public service delivery, is under scrutiny following an explosive report by the Auditor General revealing widespread financial loopholes and mismanagement. During a session of the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, it was disclosed at 492 million Kenya shillings was paid to a company that was not a party to the original contract for the development and management of the e-citizen system. The report highlights that this payment is just one example of the numerous instances of financial misappropriation and lack of proper oversight on the platform. The Auditor General's report also details how large sums of money collected through the e-citizen portal have been unaccounted for, raising serious concerns about the integrity and transparency of the system. Lawmakers on the PAC expressed outrage at the findings, demanding a thorough investigation into how public funds are being handled and who is responsible for the massive financial losses. And moving on, the Deputy Leader of Democratic Congress Party, DCP, Cleophas Malala, and a pilot will face criminal charges after a helicopter landed at the Mumias Sports Complex during the National Secondary School Games finals. Western Region Police Commander Isa Muhammad confirmed in a press briefing that the incident occurred during halftime of a high-stakes match between Musingu High School and St. Joseph's Kitale. The aircraft descended onto the stadium pitch in full view of thousands of students, teachers, education officials, and spectators, causing a disruption and raising serious safety concerns. According to Mahmoud, Malala and the pilot will be prosecuted for multiple offenses, including endangering public safety, creating a public nuisance, trespass, and violating aviation regulations.
The helicopter could have crashed. Learners could have been trampled in panic. Lives could have been lost. So let's not belittle this thing. This is a very serious thing. The action of that politician and the pilot are irresponsible and reckless and national embarrassment and a criminal offense for that matter. Therefore, the pilot, the politician, and any other accomplices involved in this unauthorized landing will face criminal charges. And I call upon Cleophas Malala, former Senator Kakamega, to report to the RCIO Western before Friday.
And on to our next news item. The Linda Jamii coalition of activists is calling on the government to halt the importation of rice, warning that the policy is detrimental to the local farmers. In a press briefing, the group stated that the current import regime is skewed in favor of wealthy individuals who bring in rice duty-free, while domestic rice farmers face high taxes on their produce. The activists are demanding for immediate revocation of Gazette Notice number 10353, which authorizes the importation of 500,000 metric tons of duty-free rice until the end of the year. They argue that this move will expose farmers in key rice-growing regions like Mwea, Ahero, and Bura to unfair competition, especially as the harvesting season begins. According to Linda Jamii, while Kenya's annual rice consumption is nearly 1 million metric tons, local production only meets about 30% of this demand. However, the activists insist that instead of relying on imports, the government should invest in boosting domestic agricultural capacity to bridge the gap.
Almost all our lives. In the last 3 years, for example, we have imported an average of about 700,000 metric tons of rice per year.
Tayari tumeshapeleka mchele wetu kule kwa multipurpose na haijauzwa hata wa leo. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wakulima hatuna pesa kufanyia kazi. Bado ile
mchele tulilima mwaka ujao bado uko masong mpaka sasa, na tumesikia serikali inaleta mpunga ingine au mchele ingine ya kuharibu hii yetu, na hii yetu haijapata mtu wa kununua. Sasa wakati huo wanatumiza,
na wakati huu ambapo tumeingia katika mzimu wa kupanda mchele, shinda ambao tuko nayo ni ya kwamba hatuna fertilizer ya kupanda, na tunaanzia kupanda kutoka siku ya Jumatatu wiki ijayo.
Lima, alafu hao wanakuja kuchukua mchele zetu, wanachukua wanaenda pia Uganda, kwa sababu serikali imewaachia nafasi wakuje wachukue kitu hapa Kenya yetu.
Na hizo vitu zote unalima nayo, fertilizer, whatever, hizo ukipiga hesabu hakuna faida.
Skimu ya mwe inasalisha mpunga ambayo inaweza tosheresha nchi ya Kenya yote. Tafadhali serikali komesa mpunga ya kutoka nje.
Na msihi tunamuomba msilete hiyo mpunga mnaleta hapa. Tafadhali serikali,
kabla hamjaleta mchele kutoka nje, tafadhali store zetu za Mwea zimejaa mchele. Mungechukua hiyo mchele ambayo iko kwa store, alafu ndio sasa tuende maneno ya kuongezea mchele kutoka nje, si ndio?
We will make sure that we will buy all the rice that is in this country, even as we allow for.
And on to our next news item. The Orange Democratic Movement, ODM party in Samburu County, has intensified its calls on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to set a date for a by-election for the Angata Nanyokie ward. The party is pressing for the electoral body to act, arguing that the ward's residents have been without a representative since the death of their MCA. The seat became vacant following the assassination of MCA Paul Leshimbro, who was shot and killed by suspected bandits on February 25th, 2024. The ODM party, while unveiling their candidate for the upcoming by-elections, stated that the prolonged lack of representation is a disservice to the residents. They are urging the IEBC to expedite the process and announce the date for the by-election to allow the community to elect a new representative and restore full representation.
Mimi nitashirikiana na wale wengine wote wanaotaka usalama irudi katika hiyo ward na ward zingine yenye iko na changamoto ya usalama. Nitashikana na serikali kuu ambaye hao ndio wanahusika pakubwa sana na mambo ya usalama. Nitashikana na viongozi wote wa county. Nitashikana pia na wadau wengine wanaoshirikiana na serikali kwa sababu ya kulete amani katika ward hiyo na ward zingine yenye iko na changamoto ya usalama.
Ongea na IBC, ongea waharakishe watangaze wapiga kura wako sasa.
Asante sana bwana baraza.
You start by your name.
Yeah, mimi naitwa Jacob Lucia Letuluai, aspiring MCA Angata Nanyokie ward. Mimi nimejitosa kwa uwanja kwa kuomba wananchi wa Angata Nanyokie ward wanichague wawakilishe kwa njia ya usawa na kwa njia ambaye itakuwa nzuri wanao wao wenyewe taka. Mimi nitakuwa servant leader, nitajikakamua kufanya vile iwezekanavyo kulete amani katika hiyo ward na ward zingine zenye zinapakana na hiyo ward, pamoja na wananchi wa hiyo ward na wakilishi wengine wote, viongozi wa county. Tutashikana mikono tuone kuwa yale yaliyofanyika ndio sababu hii by election inafanywa isifanyike tena Samburu County. Manake hii by election imefanyika kwa sababu ya utovu ya usalama ndugu yangu mwenye aliokuwa kiti ambaye hii election inafanyika leo wai yake ilichukuliwa kwa njia ambaye sio halali, sio ya haki, na hivyo hiyo ndio sababu tuko hapa leo serikali ama IEBC ya Kenya ifanye by election kwa kujaza pengo ambayo iliowashwa na yeye. Mimi mwenyewe naomba kwa heshima kubwa wananchi na wapiga kura wa wodi ya Ngatananyiki wanichague na wanipee hiyo ruhusa niwakilishe, manake mimi niko na haki, nitawakilisha hawa kwa njia safi, kwa njia ya usawa ambayo sisi wote tutafurahia. Kwa chama ya ODM nashukuru sana kwa kunipea nomination niwe candidate wa chama chao, na mimi nitakuwa mwanimu wa chama na nitahakikisha kuwa mambo yote na chama tutazingatia ili chama yetu iweze kunauri na iwe na wanachama wengi, na vile wanachama niliposema kwenda hapo mbele tutahakikisha kuwa ile uongozi baada ya wakati ya 27 ikikuja tutachukua uongozi karibu viti vyote ya hii county kwa hiyo chama ya ODM.
Kama candidate, wodi yako iko na shida ya usalama.
The by election that we are facing, today we are launching our candidate, Mr. Letulwa here. We are launching, we are declaring that he is going to be the candidate for ODM in Ngatananyiki. So we want to tell the other parties also to do theirs, because we are ready. And we mean that we are going to capture this seat. We are going to capture this seat, and we are very confident that this man can deliver. Yeah. Majina Douglas Reboyere, Chairman ODM Samburu branch. Leo tuko hapa kwa sababu we are preparing for a by-election ambayo itafanyika Ngatananyiki, na wakati hii sasa tuko tayari, sababu imekuwa ni aibu kwetu wa Samburu kwamba kwa kaunti mzima hatuna hata MCA moja, na baba ametusaidia kwa mambo mingi sana. Ya kwanza kabisa ametupatia nominated senator ambaye ako kwa Senate. Juzi tena alipoungana na hii serikali mpya, hii serikali ya Ruto, ametupatia PS. Na sasa kama sisi wa Samburu tunataka kureward baba, because amekuwa ni mtu ametushikilia mkono tangu ijapokuwa tulimangamanga, na sasa tunataka kurudi nyumbani, kwa sababu tulipitishwa na Ruto tukapelekwa kwa Jogoo, tukaletwa ile Pembe URP, tukapelekwa juzi kwa Jira. Sasa tumekataa hizo maneno yote. Sasa tumerudi kwa chama yetu ambaye tuliunda pamoja na baba, na sasa kama Wasamburu tuko tayari kama wasee wa Samburu to reward baba, kwa sababu baba amekuwa kiongozi wetu, na ni aibu kwamba katika Samburu County hatuna MCA hata moja.
And on to our next news item. Security officers are set to receive specialized training on countering terrorism financing in a new initiative aimed at strengthening national and regional security. The program, which is being held in Nairobi, brings together a multi-agency team to enhance their skills in tracking and disrupting financial networks that support terrorist activities. The 5-day capacity building program organized by the Islamic Military Counterterrorism Coalition, IMCTC, will focus on a range of topics, including national and international legal frameworks for combating terrorism, financing, financial analysis, and interagency cooperation. In his opening address, General Officer Commanding Central Command Major General John Koimo emphasized the importance of a coordinated, quote-unquote, whole government approach to combat terrorism. He noted that terrorists exploit vulnerabilities in traditional banking, mobile money platforms, online spaces, and that training will enhance national resilience and operational readiness against the complex threats. And on to our next news item. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, has arrested TikToker Shadrach Omondi Okindo, popularly known as Honorable Mosquito, for an allegedly inciting video posted on social media. The DCI announced that the video, published on August 1st, 2025, contained threats of violence which prompted public concern and swift action from security agencies. In the video, Okindo is said to have called for the release of leaders of a group called Fighting Brutality and Impunity, FBI, whose leaders have been identified as Jackson Kimani, alias Cop Shakur, and former Kenya Defense Forces officer Patrick Osoe. The arrest of Okindo adds to a growing list of individuals facing legal action for online content deemed to be a threat to public safety and order. The DCI warned the public against using social media platforms to spread hate speech and incitement to violence, vowing to take action against anyone who breaches the law. That is all for the news. We will be taking a short break. We will be back with the sports news.